Seniors, I need your full attention for a moment. If you keep a debit card in your wallet or purse, what you're about to hear could save you from losing hundreds of dollars. A brand new scam called the ghost tap is spreading at a speed I've never seen before. And criminals are deliberately targeting older adults. Why? Because they know many of you carry your card in places that are easy to reach without thinking twice. This trick doesn't require anyone to touch you or even steal your card. In less than 3 seconds, your account could be charged, and you might not notice until days later. That's what makes this scam so frightening. In today's video, you'll learn exactly what the ghost tap is, how it operates, why banks don't always refund the money, and most importantly, the practical steps you can take right now to stay safe. Stay with me to the end, because I'll also share one simple and inexpensive item that can block this scam completely. Before we dive in, please like this video so other seniors can see this warning. And share in the comments, have you ever had your debit card compromised? Part 1. What the ghost tap scam is. The ghost tap scam has quickly become one of the most disturbing financial tricks circulating today because it exploits a technology most of us use without a second thought. For decades, card fraud usually meant something tangible. You might have had your card stolen from your wallet, had it skimmed at a suspicious ATM, or been tricked into typing your information on a fake website. Those were visible threats that felt easier to recognize. But ghost tap is far more deceptive. It doesn't require your card to leave your possession. You can keep it tucked inside your wallet, purse, or even in the pocket of your jacket, and the attack can still happen. Worse, it takes less than 3 seconds and leaves no immediate trace. Here's how it works. Most modern debit and credit cards contain a feature called NFC, or near-field communication. This is the same function that allows you to simply tap your card on a payment terminal and have your purchase approved instantly without inserting the card or typing your PIN. It was designed for speed and convenience. But that very convenience is now the weak spot criminals have learned to exploit. Anyone with a portable payment terminal, the same type you might see at a cafe or with a delivery driver, can use it in ways it was never intended. These handheld machines are surprisingly easy to buy online. Once in the wrong hands, they become tools for invisible theft. Picture this scenario. You are waiting in line at the pharmacy with your handbag resting on your shoulder. A man behind you inches closer, looking like he's just impatient to move forward. Hidden inside his coat pocket is a small reader. As he shuffles close enough, your debit card silently communicates with his device through your bag. Instantly, a small payment, maybe $40, is processed. You don't hear a beep. You don't feel a buzz on your phone. And you walk away completely unaware. Scammers don't stop at one attempt. Professional criminals target crowded spaces where people are distracted and standing close together: trains, buses, shopping centers, and large public events. They might steal $30 from you in one moment and then 60 more later that same day. To avoid detection, they deliberately keep each transaction below the fraud alert threshold that most banks use, usually under $100. That way, the system doesn't flag the activity as suspicious. By the time you notice, several small charges may have accumulated, adding up to hundreds of dollars. What makes this scam especially chilling is the confusion it creates in the victim's mind. Since your card is still in your wallet and there was no PIN typed in, no ATM involved, and no obvious skimming device, many people initially doubt anything happened at all. They assume they must have made those purchases and simply forgotten. That moment of self-doubt is exactly what the scammers rely on. The less certain you are, the longer it takes to react, giving them more time to keep stealing. Part 2. Why older adults are being targeted. From the perspective of scammers, older adults are considered the most appealing group to target with the ghost tap scheme. And in the past year, this type of crime has grown at a pace that is deeply concerning It is important to understand that this vulnerability does not exist because seniors are careless. In fact, many older people are more protective of their wallets and purses than younger generations. The real explanation lies in a combination of opportunity, daily habits, and the assumptions criminals make. First is accessibility. The way many seniors carry their belongings unintentionally makes them easier to approach. A handbag draped loosely over the arm, a wallet resting in a coat pocket, or a purse set on the counter while signing papers. These common routines create opportunities. Even something as simple as placing a bag on the seat beside you in a waiting room gives a scammer the chance to move close enough with a hidden payment device. In just a moment, a tap payment can be triggered without any awareness from the victim. Second is familiarity with technology. While most older adults recognize the idea of tap-and-go payments, fewer fully grasp the constant exposure that comes with keeping the feature switched on. Many assume that unless they physically hand over the card, no payment can be made. In reality, the Ghost Tap relies on the fact that a card with NFC remains in a state of readiness, silently broadcasting to connect whenever it comes close to a reader. This lack of awareness creates a blind spot that criminals can exploit. Third is the environment. Scammers deliberately target spaces where older adults regularly gather. Community centers, libraries, pharmacies, and grocery stores on weekday mornings are all prime hunting grounds. In these locations, offenders blend in easily, acting like ordinary customers or even wearing counterfeit staff badges to reduce suspicion. Seniors in these settings are often engaged in other tasks, reading a notice board, counting coins, or chatting with a neighbor, which leaves them distracted and less alert to someone standing a little too close. Finally, there is the perception issue. Criminals often believe that seniors are slower to check their online banking apps or may overlook small, unfamiliar charges. That assumption gives scammers a window of time to strike repeatedly before anyone raises the alarm. In some cases, older adults did not notice unauthorized payments until their monthly bank statement arrived, by which point the total losses had reached hundreds of dollars. In short, older adults are targeted not because of weakness, but because of predictable routines and misplaced trust. Ghost Tap exploits these normal patterns of daily life, turning convenience and habit into opportunity for theft. It is a cruel manipulation of trust and routine, and one of the reasons awareness is the first line of defense. Part 3, the legal gray area and why banks sometimes refuse refunds. On the surface, consumer protection laws in countries like the United States, Australia, Canada, and the United Kingdom appear to promise security. These laws are designed to shield people from unauthorized charges on their accounts. But when you look closely, the definition of what counts as unauthorized is not as broad as most people assume. This is where the Ghost Tap scam fits into a troubling legal gray zone. Think about it in a typical case of card fraud. The card is stolen, cloned, or accessed online without your consent. That is easy to define as theft. With Ghost Tap, however, your physical card never leaves your possession. No one copied its details, and there was no online hack. Instead, the payment is processed through the very chip and antenna built into the card, working exactly the way it was designed. From the bank's perspective, nothing abnormal happened. A payment request was made, and the card responded as expected. No PIN was rejected, no transaction was declined, and no security system was triggered. Because of this, banks may argue that the cardholder must have authorized the payment, even when they insist otherwise. Proving the opposite can be nearly impossible without clear video footage or an eyewitness. And since scammers deliberately keep each transaction small, usually under $100, the bank's fraud detection systems may not flag the activity. As a result, smaller claims are often not investigated as thoroughly as larger ones. Another obstacle is timing. Many financial institutions require customers to report suspicious charges within an extremely short window, sometimes only 24 to 48 hours, to qualify for the strongest protections. If you notice the fraudulent charges a week or two later, your case may be treated as weaker. In some disputes, banks have even suggested that a relative or friend could have used the card with implied permission, shifting the responsibility onto the victim. This burden of proof can feel unfair. In practice, it often means that while refunds are technically possible, they are rarely quick or straightforward. Victims are asked to submit multiple forms, provide detailed written statements, and sometimes escalate their case to an ombudsman or regulatory body if the bank refuses to cooperate. For seniors in particular, this process can feel overwhelming and exhausting. Scammers count on that fatigue. They know that many older adults do not have the time, energy, or resources to keep pushing through layers of bureaucracy. By keeping each theft small and difficult to dispute, criminals increase the odds that victims will simply give up. That is why prevention remains the most effective defense. Once money has been taken, the path to reclaim it is often far more stressful and uncertain than most people realize. Understanding this legal gray area highlights a crucial point. The safest strategy is not relying on a refund after the fact, but taking proactive steps to avoid becoming a victim in the first place. Part 4. How to protect yourself right now. The encouraging news is that while the ghost tap scam is clever, it is also one of the simplest forms of fraud to defend against if you take the right precautions today. Criminals rely on only two conditions. First, that your card's tap-to-pay function is constantly switched on. And second, that your card is being carried in a place where their device can get close enough to trigger a signal. If you interrupt even one of those factors, you immediately become a far less attractive target. Step 1. Strengthen your physical protection. The most effective and inexpensive tool available is an RFID blocking sleeve or wallet. These products work like a shield, preventing the radio frequency signal from leaving your card. Even if a scammer presses a portable payment device right against your bag or pocket, the card will remain silent. The best part is that these sleeves are affordable and widely available. You can order them online, pick them up in office supply stores, or even find them in some supermarkets for as little as $5. If you carry several cards, make sure each contactless card is protected, not just your debit card, but also credit cards, transit pass, or work access badges that use the same technology. Step 2. Consider disabling tap to pay entirely. For some people, the speed of tapping a card at checkout feels essential. But for many seniors, safety outweighs convenience. By turning off the contactless feature, you immediately eliminate the ghost tap risk. This can be done by calling your bank or adjusting the settings in your mobile banking application. Once disabled, your card will only function when physically inserted into a terminal and confirmed with your PIN. Yes, this adds a few seconds to each transaction, but it closes the door completely on this particular scam. Step 3. Rethink how and where you carry your card. The closer your card is to the outside of your clothing or bag, the easier it is for a scammer to reach it without raising suspicion. Instead, keep it in a zipped inner pocket of your handbag or in an inside coat pocket that is harder for strangers to access. Ideally, place it on the side of your body that faces away from passing crowds. Ghost tap criminals want quick, low-risk opportunities. If they have to maneuver awkwardly or lean in too close, they will likely choose someone else. Step 4. Make daily account checks a habit. This single routine can make the difference between losing a small sum and watching multiple fraudulent charges pile up. Checking your account does not need to be complicated or time-consuming. Simply open your banking app once a day. Scroll through your recent transactions and verify that each payment is yours. Remember that ghost tap charges are often kept under $100 to avoid automatic fraud alerts. Do not dismiss a charge of $12 or $30 as insignificant. If you did not make it, treat it as serious and report it immediately. Clients who have followed these protective measures often go from experiencing multiple suspicious charges per month to having no unauthorized activity for more than a year. The truth is that prevention works, but only when you act before scammers strike. By adopting a few simple habits, you can shut down one of the most frustrating scams targeting older adults today and carry your cards with far greater confidence. Part 5. What to do if you're a victim. If you ever become a victim of the ghost tap scam, the single most important factor is speed. The faster you respond, the greater the chance of recovering your money and preventing criminals from targeting more people. Acting quickly gives you the upper hand in what can otherwise feel like an overwhelming situation. Step 1. Contact your bank immediately. Use the dedicated fraud or lost card number printed on the back of your debit card. This will connect you directly to the team responsible for locking your card and starting an investigation. When you speak with them, be calm but assertive. Clearly state that you suspect a type of contactless fraud known as ghost tap and that you need the disputed charges reversed. Always ask for a dispute claim number. This reference code ensures that every future conversation about your case is properly documented. Step 2. Request written confirmation. Do not settle for a phone call alone. Ask your bank to send written proof by email or letter that you reported the fraud. This document should list the unauthorized transactions and the date you made your report. Having this paper trail is essential, especially if the bank later suggests you reported too late or disputes your version of events. Step 3. File a police report. Even though law enforcement may not investigate every small fraudulent charge, an official police record carries weight. It formally establishes that a crime occurred and can strengthen your case with the bank. It is also often a requirement if you need to escalate the matter to a financial ombudsman or regulatory body. When making your report, include as much detail as you can where you were that day, the times you noticed suspicious charges, and any unusual encounters you recall. Step 4. Document everything. Keep meticulous record. Take screenshots of your account showing the unauthorized charges. Write down the names of every bank employee you speak with, along with the date and time of each conversation. Save copies of all correspondence, including emails and letters. This may feel like busy work, but in reality, the people who keep thorough records are usually the ones who get refunds faster and face less resistance from their banks. Step 5. Escalate if necessary. If your bank refuses to reimburse you, do not give up. Ask them to put their decision in writing. With that document, escalate your case to the Financial Complaints Authority in your country. Examples include the Australian Financial Complaints Authority, AFCA, the UK Financial Ombudsman Service, or the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, in the United States. These organizations have the authority to independently review your case and often pressure banks to reconsider their stance. Step 6. Protect yourself against repeat attacks. Once your case is resolved, immediately take preventive action. Replace your card with a new one. Disable the tap to pay function if you have not already. And invest in RFID blocking protection. The ghost tap scam thrives on surprise. But once you have experienced it and put the right safeguards in place, you become a far less attractive target for future attempts. In short, responding quickly, documenting carefully, and refusing to give up are your best defenses if you fall victim. While the process can be tiring, it is possible to recover your money and protect yourself moving forward. You've now learned how the ghost tap scam works, why older adults are often targeted, and the simple steps you can take to stay safe. Awareness is your strongest defense. I'd love to hear from you. Have you or someone you know ever dealt with strange charges on your card? Share your story in the comments so others can learn from your experience. If this video was helpful, please give it a like so more seniors can see it. Subscribe for more practical advice. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss important updates.